Hi, my name is Taylor. I'm from Foster City, California, and went to San Mateo High School. I did attend a preschool. The most I can remember from it is we played a lot indoors and outdoors, and we had a nap time midday. Yes, I attended preschool, and during class time, we had different centers like math and science, and we had a sensory table that had water or like clay or sand or something like that, and then we would have circle time, which we did like the alphabet, calendar, day of the week, and then we would have outside time and snack time.
I attended preschool. I'm half Jewish, so I went to my temple for preschool. And I don't remember everything that we did, but I remember doing like a lot of arts and crafts and basic stuff like that. Um, and just like going out to the playground. I don't remember too much about like actually learning a lot about like counting and letters or anything like that. But I do remember making a lot, singing songs, stuff like that.
Hi, my name is Paige Liskowitz. I went to Sayville High School, and that's on Long Island in New York. Yeah, I went to preschool, and it was pretty small. It was religiously affiliated, but yeah, I guess we did learn about religion a little bit. It was mostly, I remember singing a lot of songs, and I remember writing letters and learning the alphabet and like having playtime. A lot of playtime. We played inside and outside. And yeah, we just sang a lot.
Okay. Yes, I attended preschool. I attended a Jewish daycare, so a lot of ours was revolved around like learning about like the Jewish holidays and that kind of thing. Um, Activity wise, it was a lot of like kind of free time. We had playing outside, we had playing inside, a lot of like music and like gym. We had centers where you'd focus on like art projects or like learning to read or write and like that kind of start in learning like the basic education.
When I was going through the Common Core, I didn't necessarily like it, and I know a bunch of my classmates weren't very fond of it because it didn't have anything to do with like our class specifically, and I know my teachers weren't fond of it, and when you don't have teachers that are fond of it, it's hard to learn from them. But I do think it could be beneficial to have a standard education throughout the country, but I just think it's implemented in the wrong way. Yes, Common Core was implemented in our state. However, I pretty much graduated before it was like fully into force, but I think it like definitely does impact the way like children are learning today.
I don't really understand it completely, but what I do know is that when Common Core was implemented in my US history class, it was just a lot more writing. Like, we had to write about everything. And that really bothered me, I think, because it kind of made everybody have to learn one way. And I think everybody learns different ways. I don't know a lot about Common Core because I think it was mostly put in like after I was through like schools or like the grade where it was implemented in. But I know my brother had to write in math, and I think just hiring these standards when so many kids are already struggling in general is just, I don't know. I think it's taking away from the quality of like a kid's education, like the happiness in their education, and more focusing on where America is placed like globally. And I think that because of that, I don't know. I think learning should be fun, and I don't think it makes it fun.
Um, I am only a little bit familiar with Common Core. I don't really like the idea of a standardized education in the United States. Well, think it will help like even out like I guess a playing field between people who might have a chance for a better education. I think it puts behind people who can't necessarily like those who need like more advanced or more help or something like that. I feel like the Common Core stands in the way of getting what everyone needs.
In my high school, we had set aside days for the Common Core testing, and it took us away from our actual class time. And a lot of students just didn't take it seriously because teachers didn't count it as a grade.
I mean, I don't think there was anything different than the way it was approached in all other schools. Definitely the testing was implemented, curriculums were changed. I think a lot of the course like structure in terms of testing and quizzing was like definitely more enforced than it was before. Um, I do not like standardized testing at all. I'm actually like an aspiring educator, and I think that standardized testing really negatively affects children. I don't think it broadens their education at all. I think it basically just puts them in front of a piece of paper and asks them to answer questions, which is not teaching them anything. They really need the human interaction, and I think Common Core has really like put a 3 week period where they're just testing and they're not really learning anything, and teachers are just ending up like looking at data and they're not actually like focusing on what they're teaching their kids.
But for standardized testings, in terms of like the ACT and SAT, we there was only really one thing that we ever did in one of my English classes was we went over grammar. We would do grammar packets all the time, um, and that's pretty much the only thing that ever related to any material on the ACT or SAT in school. And so I never really liked it. I think it did limit my education, just because it the stuff that you learn on the SAT and ACT, you kind of had to go to prep. A lot of people in my area, pretty much everybody, um, goes to some place for SAT or ACT prep and sees a tutor. And obviously, the better the tutor is, the more expensive it is. So I think that a lot of people have an unfair advantage. And I sometimes wonder if my scores were only really good because I got such great prep. Because I think that without it, I wouldn't know most of the information. I was always good at the writing and the grammar sections, but I had to relearn most things that were on the actual test. Um, So yeah, I definitely think it limited my education, especially because you have to put a lot of time into it. So I would like school and prepping for the SAT or slash ACT. They were always two different things. So I never really liked it, and I didn't think that it was fair. And to this day, I still don't really think it's very fair how it works.
I think standardized testing, I think it was a really good idea at first. I understand the point where they want to give every kid from like different parts of the country or different economic backgrounds or whatever, like the equal chance to get to college, but I think it's kind of turned into something else because now kids can just get tutors because I think there's kind of like it's kind of like a formula like how to take the test. Like if you learn how to take the test, you could do a good job on it for the most part. So I think it's almost outdated, and I think everybody kind of excels differently. And maybe if you're not a good test taker or you don't think in the way the test wants you to think, maybe that makes you seem dumber than you actually are.
Standardized testing was pretty much approached the same way as everywhere else. It's there and it was given and it was required and it was forced. My opinion of standardized testing is personally that I do not like it. I just feel like it doesn't show what you know, but how you take a test. And I don't like it. I don't think it helped me in any way except by limiting and like forcing myself to like sit there and take a test.